A UNC nurse is arrested and charged with sexually assaulting two patients while they were sedated. What Raleigh police are revealing about the investigation tonight.
You're the superintendent. You're not aware of what's going on in your school system? It's trash.
State lawmakers accuse a local school district of ignoring the Parents' Bill of Rights. Tonight, we're looking into why this hearing turned so heated and how the school system is responding.
Today's blustery breeze will bring back the frigid cold. I have the newest look to a chilly start to the weekend, plus the next Arctic front that's about to blow through.
Good evening. Thanks for being here at 7. I'm Keely Arthur. Let's start right away with a story that's unfolding in Raleigh. Police have arrested a nurse at UNC Rex, charging him with assaulting patients who were sedated. WRAL's Willie Danley joins us live outside the hospital. And Willie, right now, officers are trying to find out if there's even more victims.
Yes, Keely, UNC have actually released an anonymous line that you can call if you may have been assaulted by Alvarez. I'll tell you that number. You can also find it at the bottom of your screen. That number is 919-784-1800. Alvarez is accused of assaulting multiple patients here at UNC Rex off of Blue Ridge Road while they were sedated. I want you to take a look at this. This is a photo of Brian Alvarez Ortiz. According to Raleigh police, he was arrested with the help of law enforcement in Guilford County. According to those arrest warrants, the alleged incident took place on November 3rd. It was reported on the 19th. By the 23rd, Alvarez's nursing license was revoked and he was fired 2 days later. UNC Rex sent us a statement regarding this situation saying, "We take all allegations of inappropriate behavior seriously. In those situations, we conduct our own investigations and cooperate with law enforcement. This individual has been terminated and is no longer an employee at this organization." Raleigh police had a trauma counselor on site today, encouraging anyone who may have been assaulted by Alvarez to come forward.
We believe you. We would like you to, if you feel comfortable, come forward. We have support resources for you, and we want to do so in the most trauma-informed way, to feel like you have support and be able to move forward in any way that you feel is the best to move forward in your life.
Right now, Alvarez Ortiz is being held on no bond, and he is due to be in court tomorrow. WRAL will be there. Willie Danley, WRAL News, Raleigh.
Thank you, Willie. Well, more cuts could be on the way for the Wake County school system. The school board just finished going through the district's financial outlook. And guess what? They call it uncertain. WRAL's Heidi Kirk was in that meeting tonight. She joins us live from Cary. Heidi, what do they mean when they say uncertain?
Gosh, that's a word you certainly do not want to hear in this context. And I'll break it down for you. It comes down to state and federal funding. Now, districts like Wake County rely on those funding sources to fund their schools. And this year, it's tied up. Certainly that funding from the state because of the late budget. And on a federal level, there are cuts proposed. We don't know exactly what's going to happen here. And that's led to that uncertainty overall, especially for those school board members. Now, of course, right now, it comes at a time when the district expects costs to go up because of inflation, and it's planning to open a new elementary school. Costs are just rising in lots of different areas, so they need to make up the difference, and today's conversation is just the beginning of that. Take a listen.
So everyone is feeling the uncertainty and the impact it's going to have. So I will say what I said last year during the budget cycle: if you are looking to add something, be prepared to take away something. Because that is where we are, and hopefully things will change.
And this is not the last time that this is going to come up. In fact, school board members say that they'll discuss it at a future work session, but many months until that budget will go to the Board of Commissioners and they will make the final decision there. We will be watching this very, very closely. Keely.
Heidi, I'm wondering, earlier this year, the board made other cuts to save money. What was the first thing to go?
Yeah, so I find this really interesting. They essentially had to cut millions of dollars, and the first thing to go was the heat and air conditioning set points in the school districts. So they changed those by a little bit, basically to keep costs down. You may not think that something like that makes a big difference, but it definitely does, and things like that are going to be ways that they're looking at this in the future. Again, we'll be paying attention really closely, and we'll bring you specifics as soon as we have them. They weren't discussed at tonight's meeting. Heidi Kirk, WRAL News, live in Cary.
Heidi, thank you. Well, if you're just getting to the news tonight, we understand. Let's get you caught up. Here are 5 things you should know right now. First up, the Lumbee tribe is one step closer to federal recognition. This is huge. In the last 90 minutes, the U.S. House approved the budget for the Defense Department. Tucked inside that bill is recognition for the Lumbee, something they have been fighting for genuinely generations. It would unlock federal aid for health and education programs in and around Robeson County, and it would allow the tribe to build a casino. The bill now heads to the Senate. A man is in critical condition and a woman is hurt after a shooting in Granville County. The sheriff's office tells us the suspect, Brad McCurdy, killed himself after an hours-long standoff. WRAL spoke with McCurdy's brother by phone, who said his brother and the female victim had been in a relationship. We are getting our first inside look of the Raleigh Convention Center ever since that fire broke out. Renovations are currently underway, especially to fix water damage. There's still a lot of work to be done at the center before it reopens, including installing new carpet, drywall, and furniture. Officials hope they can open up in time for all the events scheduled in January. Meta has ended its lease in Durham. The deal at the end of June, and Meta decided just not to renew. Facebook's parent company opened the Durham operation in 2023 with about 100 engineers working there, and it's not clear what will happen next for those employees or whether Meta has selected a different Durham location. We'll keep you updated on that one. Well, the Federal Reserve lowered its interest rates again, the third cut this year. Rates are now down to about 3.5%. That is the lowest they have been since 2022. Chairman Jerome Powell said the Fed is now in a wait-and-see mode as it weighs future decisions. A hearing today talking about North Carolina's Parents' Bill of Rights got a lot more heated than you might expect.
You don't know what's printed? It's trash. That's what good that is.
We're going to talk about why these lawmakers are so upset and how we got here. And stick around to the end of the show. The green lights on this wreath outside the Chapel Hill Fire Department carry some very important symbolism. It's about preventing fires and saving lives. That story in tonight's One Last Thing. Mike?
Keely, we had a really nice day. We had a little bit of a breeze, but 57 was the high. A cold front tonight will bring back the chill. I'll show you how we cool down coming up.
All right, here's the quote of the day. There was book throwing, there was cussing, there was all of that. I had secondhand embarrassment. That's the quote of the day coming from Amos Quick, the state house rep from Guilford County. That was his reaction after hearing about the Parents' Bill of Rights, and it got heated. The House Oversight Committee scheduled the hearing to question the school board chair for the Chapel Hill Carborough City Schools. In a social media post, George Griffin said he thought parts of the Parents' Bill of Rights were discriminatory. Republican lawmakers said Griffin's district was not complying with the rule. And that's when House Majority Leader Brendan Jones pulled out a book called Santa's Husband, claiming it was available to elementary school students.
Is this okay in your guidance?
I'm not aware that that book is.
You're the superintendent. You're not aware of what's going on in your school system? You don't know what's printed? It's trash. That's what good that is.
I've been elected here for going on 10 years, and I have to say to you, I don't apologize for anybody else, but I had secondhand embarrassment for the way this meeting was being conducted.
Now, blow-ups about books aside, we should talk about whether or not Chapel Hill Carborough City Schools did violate the Parents' Bill of Rights, because the district claims that they are in compliance now. To figure out exactly what is going on, I spoke with WRAL state government reporter Paul Spey. Paul, thank you so much for joining us. First question I have is, why were state lawmakers so frustrated with this school district?
Well, it all started with a social media post a couple months ago. There's an account on X, also known as Twitter, called Libs of TikTok, and they elevated this video of the Chapel Hill Carrboro school board chairman saying that he didn't like this law that was passed in 2023 called the Parents' Bill of Rights, and that he didn't think they should follow some of it. Now, that video is from January 2024, so a lot of time has passed since then, but it got people so riled up, that social media post, that it prompted our state lawmakers to invite those school district officials to Raleigh to question them about it.
Explain briefly the Parents' Bill of Rights and what Chapel Hill Carrboro City Schools allegedly did to violate it.
Right, so it's a set of laws. There's a lot in that particular bill, and the school board adopted a lot of it. The two parts they didn't adopt and didn't want to adopt at first back in 2024 were one part that said if your child wants to go by a different pronoun or even a different name, you have, as a teacher, you have to tell that student's parent. The other part was just about governing conversations of sexual orientation and sexual discussions in the classroom for kids in kindergarten through 4th grade. Those are the two things they saw sort of as discriminatory.
It sounds like they've since gone into compliance with those things.
Right. So in the video, he said as much as what you just said back in January 2024. Then in February 2024, the board chairman sent an email that said sort of the same thing. We're going to adopt all but these two things. After that, he says, and the school system said, we are going to comply. We're going to direct our staff to come up with a set of guidelines for how to deal with these situations when they do come up in the classroom.
Paul Spey, state government reporter, thank you so much for speaking with us and explaining all this. This is obviously a complicated topic that affects so many kids in our state. Here's a look at how we got here. Debates around parents' rights in public schools started back in the 1920s. There were cases about banning foreign language classes and laws requiring all students to attend public school. It wasn't until the 2020s, though, that things really ramped up. The COVID-19 pandemic took students out of the classroom. Many parents wanted them to go back, and for the students who did go back, they had to wear a mask, another policy that many parents didn't like.
I would prefer the choice. I'm the parent of my child. I want to make the choice whether my child should wear a mask or not.
And when class was remote, parents didn't just see homework, they saw the full lesson plan right at their kitchen table. And many did not like what they were seeing.
What children are being taught today in schools by radical Marxist educators and administrators is sickening. It is filth. It is full of lies.
In 2021, the focus was on critical race theory. Some local school districts took action themselves, like Johnston County schools.
The policy doesn't specifically ban any books or topics. It does ban teaching the notion that racism is a permanent component of American life.
Lawmakers followed suit. At least 44 states considered bans on critical race theory, including North Carolina. But Governor Roy Cooper vetoed it. In 2022, the focus then shifted to gender identity and sexuality. Grassroots groups like Moms for Liberty started showing up at school board meetings challenging library books.
Can you explain why this subject matter should be part of an ELA curriculum for any age or grade?
And again, lawmakers followed suit. The Heritage Foundation, a conservative think tank, created a blueprint. They called it the Given Name Act. It would ban schools from changing names or pronouns for a student unless the parents allowed it. The idea started popping up in state legislatures with a new name, the Parents' Bill of Rights. Florida passed their version in 2022, and critics gave it a different name, the quote, "Don't Say Gay Bill."
You're clearly singling out, clearly discriminating against in this situation, and we feel it.
In 2023, it was North Carolina's turn. Senate Bill 49 required schools to notify parents if a student wanted to change names or pronouns. It required schools to give parents full insight into curriculum, and it banned lessons on gender identity and sexuality from kindergarten to 4th grade. Governor Cooper vetoed this bill too, but this time Republicans had the votes in the House and the Senate. They overrode Cooper's veto, and the Parents' Bill of Rights became law.
We're not knocking our school and our staff, but we're just saying family is first.
This is bad for business. It's bad for LGBTQ kids.
School districts like Wake and Durham counties started approving new policy to fall in line with the new law. But a handful of Republican lawmakers said Chapel Hill Carborough City Schools did not fall in line and called them to a hearing.
It's trash. That's what good that is.
And that's how we got here. And I do want to note, as WRAL's Flynn Snyder reported, that the book that Representative Jones just threw that you saw in that video allegedly was never in the school's libraries. Republican Representative Jeff McNeely warned school officials that they could face consequences if they don't comply with this bill, suggesting the state could cut funding. Lawmakers would likely have to pass a new bill for that to actually happen. We're going to keep you posted on that. If you have any questions about this topic or any other stories in the newscast, send us an email, 7 p.m. at WRAL.com. Your feedback drives this newscast. Tell us what you want to see on the news, and we will talk about it right here at 7. Mike?
We're watching a cold front, Keely. Ahead of it, we had a breezy, warm day. There's the front. There's a little bit of rain with it. It's more in the way of sprinkles. And watch how it's falling apart as it moves on in. So it's unlikely that we'll see a lot of rain, maybe some sprinkles in Southern Virginia, and that's about it. There's another front on the way for Friday that could bring some sprinkles and flurries. The latest run of Futurecast is in, and it looks a little bit more pronounced. So there is Fenton looking pretty nice. A lot of ice skaters out there, cooling down a bit. It's 49 after a high of 57 today. And there are the numbers out there, 47 at South Hill, 48 at Southern Pines. This time last night, it was in the low 30s in our northern counties, far warmer today. You all had 50s today, and it's still 50 at Roxborough. How remarkable is that? Heading out for a dog walk this evening, or you're just getting your steps in, temperatures likely to be in the 40s. By daybreak, we expect 34 here in the Triangle. So here is our front that's coming by tonight. Again, maybe some sprinkles in our northern counties through about 9 or 10 o'clock. This warm front passes by Friday morning, could bring some sprinkles, maybe a flurry in our northern counties, and the latest run of Futurecast now shows more of that. Thursday's looking great. Some snow showers in Boone in the morning. 46 for us here in Raleigh tomorrow, 49 in Fayetteville. And look at all the sunshine. Should be a pretty nice day, but far cooler than what we had today. So let's check out Futurecast for Friday. We started the morning off with clouds, temperatures in the 20s and 30s. Our warm front's on the way, and look at the precipitation. There's a little bit of blue showing up. There's some pink and there's some green. That's that small chance for sprinkles and flurries in our northern counties. We have more opportunity for model runs coming up for the day tomorrow. We'll have that for you, and we'll see if this becomes more pronounced. But it looks like there's some actual snow that could be moving through the northern counties. By lunchtime, that all moves out. We're looking at partly cloudy skies during the afternoon on Friday. Temperatures in the 40s to maybe low 50s in Fayetteville. And then Saturday looks warmer, more cloud cover coming in during the evening. Then we have our Arctic front that's on the way for Sunday. Big shot of cold air. It's going to be brief and it's going to be brisk, and you can see how pronounced that deep trough is delivering that cold air. So highs topping out in the 30s and 40s, morning lows on Monday and Tuesday in the teens and 20s. And for us here in Raleigh, it could be 18 on Monday morning. Roxborough could be 13 for the low. So not as cold tonight, 28 at Roxborough to 34 in Raleigh, 35 in Fayetteville, 32 at Goldsboro. And then for the day tomorrow, it will be noticeably cooler, breezy, and it will be brighter with plenty of sunshine, 46 for Raleigh, 48 in Clinton. So a couple of cold days tomorrow and Friday. Saturday, we briefly warm up. And out of the weekend, Saturday's the day, if you have any yard work to do, that would be the nice day to be outside. It will be windy and far colder on Sunday, 44, 18 Monday morning, 40 in the afternoon on Monday. And before you know it, Keely, it warms back up. By next Wednesday, we're back into the 50s.
Weather whiplash. Thank you so much, Mike. Well, the Chapel Hill Fire Department has a special Christmas decoration at one of the fire stations. They want you to keep the wreath green. We're going to explain what that means coming up in tonight's One Last Thing. All right, welcome back. One last thing for you tonight. If you drive down Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard in Chapel Hill, you might spot a Christmas decoration at Fire Station 1. It looks like a wreath, but it carries a very special meaning. Here it is. You'll notice this wreath has green lights on it with a sign in the middle that says, "Keep the wreath green." This is how it works. During December, anytime the fire department responds to a fire that could have been prevented, one of the lights turns red. The fire department's goal is to avoid those fires and keep the wreath green.
Everybody joins the fire service to try to help people and to try to keep both them and their and their possessions safe. So firefighters take it very seriously during the holidays because we have such an increased risk, whether that's due to cooking, whether that's due to holiday decor. We've been talking a lot this year about lithium battery safety, and that's going to become an issue with maybe some of the toys that are under the tree.
Yeah, she's absolutely right. The wreath has been a tradition at the fire station for the last 25 years. We are 10 days into December, and the wreath is still all green. But it's up to us to keep it that way. Like Captain Robinson said, there are still lots of fire risks during the holiday season, and she shared some advice. Don't leave home while you're cooking. If you have a live Christmas tree, water it every day and bring it outside once the needles start falling off. Check the cords. Your Christmas lights aren't frayed, make sure they're not. And those lithium-ion batteries are a big one these days. Fires caused by these batteries are harder to put out. Charge those devices on hard surfaces and use the charger that came in the box. And before we go, a quick thank you to all the volunteers who answered questions today about enrolling in the Affordable Care Act. It was a very busy afternoon, just under 500 people, 490 to be exact, called over the course of this afternoon's event. If you did not get through, we have many resources to help you navigate the process right now. Just head to WRAL.com. Big shout out to Jeremy Spearman, one of our managers here at WRAL, who helped coordinate that event. And thank you for making WRAL your choice for local news. Our next newscast is at 10 on Fox 50 and then 11 right here on WRAL. Have a great night.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air Channel 34 and Spectrum Channel 1257.